Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the first official episode of the Mind Gains podcast. My name is Vinny. Today I'm here with my friend.
Greetings. My name is Jay, also known as Josh, also known as JP, if you know me from back then. So, first things first, bro. I've known this guy for a decade now, and the fact that we're still friends is absolutely... It's funny, because the way that we met was crazy.
Just kids being kids, bro.
Just kids being kids, bro, yeah. But the fact that 10 years later, he's still my friend, and to say my best friend, is absolutely fantastic. And let's go a little bit over what we're going to be doing this podcast for, bro. I think it's important for the viewers to know why we are here to begin with, who we are as people. So let's start there, kind of like saying, who are you, Vinny, as a person? Talk to me.
Yeah, well, first things first, we chose the name Mind Gains for our podcast. One, because the term gains goes with fitness. We're both really big into fitness. If you know me personally, I've been a fitness coach for about 5 years now. So fitness is a big part of my personality. Although it's not going to be the focal point of this podcast, it's going to be a very big part of it. But the reason it's called Mind Gains is a spin on the word mind games because we're going to make you think. But then again, just tying into fitness, this podcast is overall just to inspire the younger generation. Not even just the younger generation, anyone that's looking to build a disciplined life, looking to start a business, just needs help going through that lonely journey that, a lot of people struggle through or aren't even willing to take.
Most entrepreneurs go through that lonely journey. Not only that, I think what's also super important is when we were 18, I think if we had someone that was, 24, 25, 26, even 30, kind of give us some, this is what I would have done if I was 18, what I would have started, why I would have started it, why fitness is so important at 18, even younger than that. I think would be even further than what we are now. But nonetheless, this is going to be to help other people, especially like you said, the younger generation, just be better, which is the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely. This podcast will make you think, hopefully inspire you, make you laugh at some points, and probably offend you at some points. But, at the end of the day, the point is to inspire. So,
absolutely.
I completely dodged your question about telling a little bit about myself. My name is Vinny. I've been a fitness coach for 5 years. I own a meal prep company that we've been running for about a year. And, neither of us are millionaires, but we're doing pretty good in our own business, especially considering our age. So, we're just here to document the journey and, again, to share and show anyone that they could start a business. If you saw the trailer, I said if this guy could do it, anyone could do it. So we're here to show you that it's possible.
That's fantastic, bro. Beautiful introduction. A little bit what I do, I own a bakery, literally serve the entirety of SoCal. And like Vinny said, we're not millionaires, but we definitely are ahead of our generation for sure.
We're thousandaires.
Yeah, we're thousandaires for sure. But I've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm also into sales. So anything that has to do with speaking with people, getting them to, from this side to that side, understanding why they make decisions. I'm super big on psychology and understanding people and human behavior. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love entrepreneurship, just because it makes me think and it helps other people think and it helps me understand why other people think the way they do. So that's super important. That's why I love business. That's why I love this guy. Like you said, fitness is super important for us. For anybody that doesn't know, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant right now. Yeah. I used to be fit, 215 pounds. I got big, 275 pounds. And then we were back down to 200 pounds.
This guy's been locked in.
Even that journey alone has taught me a bunch. And if you're wondering, well, Josh, why did you get big again? Good question. Honestly, I was having a tough battle with burritos for a very long time. No, but in all seriousness, I think, like Vinny said, anybody can do it. Don't feel like you're limited to what you're able to do with your craft, with what you know. It's never too late to learn. And something I want to discuss, especially that, I've been seeing this one guy. I'll have to tag him down below if we decide to clip this. But this guy literally learns a new skill in 24 hours. I don't know if you've seen him, bro. It's like, today I'm going to be a master chess player in 24 hours.
He dedicates his whole day
to it. And he dedicates the entire 24 hours of his day to be a chess master.
Must have a lot of time on his hands.
He does. Absolutely. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, like, you are able to do whatever you want, whatever you set your mind to. Don't feel like you're limited to doing that. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What got you into entrepreneurship? What were you doing before that? And where are you now? As opposed to when you had a regular job. And talk a little bit about that. I kind of want to learn, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, about that specifically.
Yeah, well, if we take it back to high school, I've always been an athlete, and I've always kind of known that I didn't want to follow like a traditional path, although college was kind of always what my parents wanted for me. And, I love my pops to death. A huge role model in my life is my dad. But major life decisions, him and I never saw eye to eye on. We still love each other, have a great relationship. But, yeah, if I would have followed what my family wanted for me, I'd be in a very different place. I'm not saying I wouldn't be stable and comfortable. I probably would be, but I probably wouldn't be happy and aligned with my purpose. So, anyways, like probably junior, senior year of high school, I started to kind of get really disconnected with school. Just the idea of school in general, like being told what to do, having to conform to the norms of society. We took calculus. We're like, bro, when are we ever gonna use this in real life, bro?
Calculus,
so
dude.
just the whole academic system in the U.S. I'm grateful to have access to education, but I don't find it very relevant to day-to-day life. So I went to college for a year. I gave it a try, but it just wasn't for me. I was in business classes and I wasn't learning anything relevant to running a business. I was learning about business law, I was learning about accounting, but nothing about actually successfully running a business. So at the time, I decided to become a personal trainer because fitness has always been my passion. I've always been a little guy, so bulking up was my struggle for the longest. I'm still not where I want to be, but we're getting there. But anyways, that's besides the point. So yeah, I dropped out of college my freshman year of college. I finished my freshman year, then dropped out. And pursued becoming a personal trainer. And got my first job at a boot camp coaching large groups of people, which was a huge part of my character development because I've always been a very shy, reserved guy. Which is why I think me and Jay mesh so well. We're a great duo because this guy's very outgoing and I'm not. Literally in public, I'm like, bro, I can't take this guy anywhere. He's just acting a fool. And then, me, I'm just chilling, enjoying the show, popcorn. Let's see what kind of nonsense Jay pulls off today.
Okay.
But I've been in the fitness industry for 5 years now. I quit my group training job in 2024 to launch my own training studio. And did that for about 2 years. And then just last year, I launched a meal prep business. And now I'm just doing hybrid coaching. I'm not really doing in-person training anymore, which we'll expand more on that later. I don't want to get into my full life story on the first episode. But that's pretty much my adulthood so far, my half decade of adulthood in a brief summary. So,
fantastic,
that's
bro.
where I'm at.
I'm going to run off that right away. 2020, of course, me and this guy, and I'm going to talk about it because I don't care. We didn't get a graduation. I'm very upset that our high school decided to make us go through a drive-through to graduate. I was so pissed off. I didn't even show up to that graduation. I said, send me my diploma through mail and don't ever talk to me again.
Shout out 2020.
Shout out 2020, yeah. But anyways, after that, I did decide to pursue college. And what I decided to pursue was business administration. Now, the reason I got into business was, well, one, my brother, Sam, he was a big influence into that decision because he started his business young, still runs his business till this day. And I was like, you know what? Well, why not get into business? Now, my idea before going into college about business was super different. I thought that they were going to teach you how to start a business, how to run an LLC, what you need to do when taxes come around, all these crazy notions that I had in my mind that I was like, you know what, they're going to teach me this in college. But in reality, I went literally all 4 years of college. And by my fourth year, I started to understand, you know what, this has nothing to do with real life situations. And I didn't understand that until I asked a few of my professors. I was bored. I stayed after class and I asked every single one of my professors, I was like, how many businesses do you run? Just out of curiosity.
What color is your Bugatti?
Yeah, what color is your Bugatti? None of them, they were all just professors. They understood the study and the science behind business, but they had never actually sat down and ran their own business. And that was kind of like a tale for me to decide. I was like, you know what, this probably isn't going to be the place where I learn about business. And after college, which was 2024, I decided to start doing cakes, wedding cakes specifically. I started to get into the event space. And ever since then, I started learning about sales. I started learning about communicating with clients, doing one-on-ones. Prior to that, I was also doing sales because I started with sales as well, doing video calls, talking to clients one-on-one. And so sales and business has always been something that I have carried along with me from this half decade, like you mentioned. And it's definitely propelled me a lot further. I was able to quit my 9-to-5 not too long ago. Like I said, not where I want to be just yet, but definitely further than most. And of course, the goal is to be financially free. mentally free and physically free. Be able to, be healthy at a 30s, 40s. Be healthy. Be able to play around with our kids. Have a fantastic family, and that's just kind of a little bit about where I'm at, where I came from, and like Vinny said, I think that's why me and this guy, like, bro, I love you, bro. Like this guy's fantastic. This guy pushes me through limits that I never thought I could get through. And he's one of the main reasons why even this year I was able to lose so much weight. Having someone there to keep you accountable, the consistency of it, it's difficult. It's hard. But when you have someone that says, you know what, bro, keep going. You can do this. You got this. Why quit now? You started. Why not finish? Is definitely going to propel you way further. And is exactly why I think we're doing this podcast. Because if we can inspire one person, bro, to be better physically,
that makes
mentally,
it all worth it.
Financially, whatever the case is, it's all worth it. Yeah.
So hold this thought. I want to ask you how you got, like, why wedding cakes, but hold that thought. I want to talk about the ultimate goal of entrepreneurship first, because even I don't know how you fell into wedding cakes.
Perfect.
But
I'll answer that question.
The ultimate goal of entrepreneurship isn't just about the money. Of course, like, not having a ceiling and being able to make more than any profession could potentially pay you is a huge plus, but you have to put in the work. Of course, it's not guaranteed income like a job is. But the ultimate goal of this is just freedom. Like, when we're in our 30s, being able to go out with your wife and kids on a random weekday afternoon, that's what we're after. Being able to work on your laptop from a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, that's what entrepreneurship's all about. It's not just about having a bunch of money. It's having the freedom to travel, to experience life to the fullest, to be on your schedule, not to take orders from, someone else that just sees you as a number on a day-to-day basis, not having to report to the same place, same time every day like a robot. And I'm not knocking anyone that chooses a 9-to-5 route. Everyone's going to do what they're passionate about every day. We need doctors, we need teachers, so, God bless all those people that fill those professions, but some people just don't want that lifestyle, and you're looking at two of them right here. So I feel like there's a lot of people that want to pursue entrepreneurship, that have a gift that they haven't uncovered yet, and any skill is learnable. Like, I think it's scientifically proven that anyone could learn how to sing if you practice. Like,
seriously,
me personally, I don't see myself ever having vocals like that.
Please don't ever try it.
But it's scientifically proven that if you actually practice, anyone could learn how to sing. So who knows? I might be the next Frank Ocean. But
you know what, bro? If you set your mind to it, absolutely. I want to touch base before I answer your question, because I still held it in the back of my mind. A lot of people say freedom or money doesn't buy you happiness, right? And that's true. If you were to have a direct correlation from money to happiness, I don't think there's a bridge.
Yeah.
But the bridge that does gap that is freedom.
For sure.
Because money does buy freedom. It frees your time. It frees your energy. Absolutely. It frees your person to be able to do whatever you want. And that in of itself allows you to create happy memories that are going to bring you happiness, right? So although money doesn't directly buy you happiness, it definitely has the bridge to freedom that does allow you to have happiness.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So that's, like you said, it's super important to us. I want to answer your question. What got me into the wedding industry? So back then, I the only skill that I had truly developed was my sales skill. And this was literally sitting down with clients and selling them something. At that point, I was able to do videography, photography, and I was just kind of sitting down with them, showing them what we were capable of as a team back then. And I was wondering, well, what kind of skill can I carry into my next profession that is going to, A, still be sales related, but B, be a skill that is absolutely needed today, right? So when I looked at the wedding industry, I thought about three things. One, do people have weddings every weekend? The answer was yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Two, is there money in the wedding industry? Absolutely.
You need money to have a wedding.
Absolutely.
So.
And number three, can you apply sales to weddings? Absolutely. So when it answered all three, it checkboxed all three of my questions. I decided, you know what, let's pursue that. And although I have personally learned the skill of actually doing the work, and I'm talking about the baking, I'm talking about the decorating, I'm talking about the boxing, all the details that require you to do the actual work, I can do that. But I'm way more interested in behind the scenes, right?
Yeah,
talking to the clients, sitting down, doing tastings, doing all the paperwork, sitting down on my laptop, like you said. I want to mention, we had a trip earlier this year when we went to San Diego, and it felt so liberating being able to just bring my laptop
Yeah.
and have all my work being done there, right?
Yes.
On my laptop.
Rooftop coffee shop. looking
Rooftop
at the
coffee
ocean.
shop in the middle of the Atlantic. Who knows?
Pacific.
Pacific, yeah. And sitting down and being able to actually do your work from there.
Jay knows his sales, but not his geography, guys.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, this guy. No, but I'm just saying. The point is, being able to have that, being able to bring your laptop wherever you are traveling to, and be able to bring your work with you, I think is super cool.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
like I said, that's what did it for me. And luckily, I have some people in my corner that have the skills to actually make wedding cakes at a proficiently high level. And that has also allowed me to utilize that skill, sell that skill, even if it's not personally mine, as leverage to build my business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful
Wow.
thing because those people that you're referring to that have that skill of decorating cakes have always had that and have done it for other companies, correct? But now you're allowing them
100%.
to do it on a business level
Absolutely.
where they can get the
Absolutely.
most out of it.
They can get the most out of it, they get paid more, and they get rewarded for their work, right? Like Vinny mentioned earlier, most of the jobs that you do, they're not going to reward you for that. They see you as a number, they see you as someone that, did you get the job done, yes or no? They don't care if you did it right. They don't care if you built something for yourself. They care that the job is finished for their company and their numbers look good,
Yeah.
right? And so being able to do that for yourself, right? Being able to get paid more, be rewarded. When someone comes up to you and says, the cake that you made me was absolutely beautiful and it was my dream cake. Trust me, that is one of the best feelings, and that's another reason why I'm in the field that I'm in.
Yeah.
I love to see that, when people come up to you and say, bro, like, you
cake
made my
made my
dreams
day.
come true.
Heck
You
yeah.
made my dreams come true. So that's super important to me, at least,
Yeah,
what
no.
I've noticed.
I could say the same in my profession, like helping a client hit a PR, hit a weight loss goal, or even with the meal prep business now. Just hearing that our meals have helped solve a convenience problem in someone's life or a weight problem in someone's life, or they just enjoy the food overall. We're selling healthy stuff that's a lot better than going to McDonald's or
A lot cheaper, too.
Papa John's or wherever for
Yeah,
your lunch.
yeah.
So it's a good feeling knowing that we're able to solve those problems for people. And although it might not be the same one-on-one relationship that I had with clients when I was doing mostly personal training, I feel like we're solving a problem that has larger demand here because anyone could go to the gym, but what people struggle with the most is obviously the nutrition aspect, right?
The diet.
So we're able to solve problems on a larger scale now that we're selling meals to 70, 80 people a week. So yeah, it's been a beautiful process so far. It's definitely different. I never thought I'd see myself cooking meals for 20 hours a week every week, nonstop. But it's been a beautiful experience. I'm glad I've been able to help people with something that a lot of people struggle with a lot. So
Yeah.
It's been awesome. What's been your experience with jobs? I know you've had part-times,
Oh, my.
full-times. What's so much better about entrepreneurship than being in those experiences?
Absolutely.
Do you feel secure now, insecure? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so a lot of questions that need answering, but
Yeah.
first I'll talk about my experiences as working jobs, right? So most of my jobs have been in the service industry, right? So I've been serving for a few different restaurants in the last couple years, and what I've liked about that is the interactions. I love talking to people. What I don't like about that is talking to people, right? Because it's
Okay.
it's the same thing, and you can say, well, what's the difference between talking to someone that you enjoy and talking to someone that you don't enjoy talking to? And it comes down to the type of people that you encounter,
Okay.
right? But my experience overall, I think, believe it or not, I think I learned a lot of my skills of being able to tell the type of people that I'm going to be dealing with, and a lot of social skills. Okay, although I've always been extroverted, you know this.
Yeah.
Being able to actually go up to a table, because think about this: if you had to randomly wake up, right, and then you're like, all right, well, today I'm gonna go up to a random table and start talking to them about food. I guess it's not that difficult, but when you put it into perspective, it's like, okay, there's a system that takes place when you talk to someone, right? You go to the table, you greet them, you do this, you do that, and you lead them through a step, and you want to make sure that that step is the easiest, those steps are the easiest as possible. That way they can have a good experience. Any of those steps that are missed cause the experience to be not great. Because I'm sure you've been to a restaurant where it's like, where are my waters? I've been waiting for 30 minutes. Where are my waters?
Yeah,
right?
the server makes or breaks the experience for
Absolutely,
sure. Yeah.
absolutely. So being able to be a server that actually makes the experiences for most of the guests that we had was something that I had to learn, because I have had people that have been serving alongside me for 30 years that were absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would never sit down with you. Like, I would hate to be served by you, right? So I definitely learned a lot from it. Overall, my experience, I would say it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
And I think I don't regret it at all. I think that being able to go through that experience, propelled me to what I do now. Now, the difference, the second question, do I feel secure now that I'm doing what I do? I want to kind of recap what you mentioned earlier. You said this isn't a security thing, right? You need to work to make sure it works, right? It's not like, oh yeah, you wake up one day, it's like, oh, I can go live my life, do nothing, and the money's gonna come and just show up in my pocket. Absolutely not
Absolutely
true.
Not.
You need, if anything, I think that I'm working now more than I was when I had a regular job. I think I work 12, 13 hours a day. Sometimes where I sit down for 5 hours on my laptop trying to figure out a problem, trying to solve problems, trying to make more money, break in more clients than I did when I had a regular job. So something that I want to say is that if you want security, absolutely get a job.
Yeah.
If you want freedom, I think entrepreneurship is the route to go.
Yeah.
So
that's a fair trade-off. We're not saying either or is necessarily wrong.
100%.
And tying back into why I asked this question, you already answered the question. You said the serving jobs were worth it. And I think you would agree as well. It's absolutely necessary to work jobs before starting a business. We're not saying jobs are bad. We're not saying college is bad in general. All of those things, well, maybe not college, but jobs are definitely necessary leading up to a business because, you need to make money, to invest money, of course. And then the skills that, my first training job, working as a group fitness instructor, I made so many connections that, helped me in my next step when I decided to start my own business. Just learned how to talk, learned how to train at the next level. That job was absolutely necessary. Although the ultimate goal was to get out of it and start my own thing, I don't regret a single moment that I spent at that job. And I actually owe a large amount of my success in business to that first job as a group fitness instructor. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, you said job is worth it. You said working for a long time to build up skills is worth it.
Yeah.
But you said college is not.
Mm-hmm.
Can you touch base on that? Why you believe college isn't worth your time?
Yeah, well, for an entrepreneur, absolutely not. My main logic of dropping out of college was, one, like I said, I felt like everything I was learning wasn't relevant. Like I'm paying the system for my profession, and they're gonna tell me, like, you have to take a history class. Like, bro, what? Why do I have to learn about Thomas Jefferson when I'm trying to be, when I'm trying to own a gym? It just doesn't make any sense. But anyways, the key deciding factor for me was debt. From my perspective, obviously, to start a business, you need capital. So why am I going to get in debt for a degree that I don't need to start a business when I could just use that capital to start a business? Which, at the age of 19, when I dropped out of college, I didn't have any capital. But the point was, why am I going to dig myself into a deeper hole when I could just start from zero,
Yeah.
Would you rather start at zero or negative 10K?
Yeah, no, and what's funny? Because although I mentioned earlier that I did go to college for 4 years, I didn't say that I finished college because I did not. Okay, and it's going to sound stupid, but I dropped out my last semester. And there was only one reason that I dropped out of college, and it was because of the debt thing. When I first got into college, I was covered for all 4 years, right?
Okay.
I was good to go. Boom, everything's covered. I decided to take one semester off, which was prior to my last semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Literally, I came back like, yeah, you owe us $4,000. I said, I ain't owing you nothing, and I never went back again. So that was my deciding factor. I always told myself that if I had to pay for school, I wasn't gonna do school, and that was kind of like my thing. I was like, well, no, I refuse.
Well, if everything was free, do you think it would have been worth it, or do you think the 4 years of time is more valuable in your case?
Oof. Okay. Well, if the 4 years guaranteed me a secure job for free, then maybe it would have been worth it. But if I were to dedicate those same 4 years into starting up a business and having a mentor that led me to propel me to a business, then I would say I would take the second route, even if it was free. So it's perspective thing. Like I said, if you want security, great. Get those 4 free years, go to college, get your degree, and get your job. But if you're looking for something a little bit more than just doing repetitive things every day, do something for yourself, And now what's the bigger picture looking like, right? Are we doing this for just the freedom, or are we doing this for the legacy that comes with it too?
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
believe it or not, once you get to a certain point, you leave a legacy for the people that are behind you, for your kids, for
children,
future generations, your grandchildren. Now, I think the difference here would be being able to teach those grandchildren, those kids, the same values that you learned, right?
Yeah.
So that they can continue building your empire, right? Because you don't want to get to the point where it's just you're handing someone else an empire that didn't really work for it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just having a skill that you could change the world with, and by changing the world, I don't necessarily mean like on a Gary V level, you know, or a, you know, or a Martin Luther King level, you know, but you know, we're changing people's world with what we do, whether it's 10 people or 500 people or 5,000 people, you know. One of my favorite books is, I've read like 3 books in my life, so I'm going to quote this book a lot. It's Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and it talks about you have to have a skill, and that skill has to, you know, have an impact on the world. And if you're aligned in those aspects, you will be successful because you're doing a deed to the world, and that's what we're all put here to do at the end of the day. Something I want to talk about is the grind that actually goes into entrepreneurship, because, you know, when you see us posting our laptops in the middle of the Atlantic Pacific Ocean, that's not what every day looks like. So let's touch on what it actually takes a little bit, and let's start with, at what point did you feel comfortable enough to leave your job? What was it like doing entrepreneurship and a job at the same time? And how is that then compared to now? Because you did say it's more work now. So let's start with you, and then I'll answer the same question.
Absolutely.
After.
So I'll answer the first question is, when I had my job and I had entrepreneurship, I felt like I was half and half.
Yeah.
I knew that entrepreneurship was what I needed to be doing. But with my job, I was like, well, I have to focus and dedicate 6 to 7 hours of my life to this job that, quite frankly, it taught me a bunch of skills, but I never looked forward to doing.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, oh my God, here goes 6 hours of my day, and that's probably going to be it, going to go to sleep right after. Let's go back. Before I even started entrepreneurship and I was just doing my job, although I was learning a lot of skills, I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt like I was just, I'm making money, great. I'm making money paying bills, great. Making money paying bills, not really having an impact, right? When I started entrepreneurship, now it's like, okay, well, I'm helping people, you know, have their dream cake, their dream, you know, the dream fulfilled in real time, which I wasn't able to do before. After I left my job, I was able to do that full time. Now, the deciding factor, what kind of made me decide, okay, it's time to quit your job? The feeling of security for me, at least, was what was holding me back. Now that I don't have that, now that I have to say, you know what, I have to wake up every single day and make it happen, I don't have a choice. I need to make it work. It's not like, and it's cliche to say, but it's like you have to want it as much as you want to breathe, bro. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You wake up and you have to make it happen because no one is gonna do it for you. Yeah. And that's why I said it takes way more time out of my day now, because I'll go days where I'm sitting in my laptop 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, going through every single thing, making sure that everything's smooth, and it's just a lot more tedious, and it's a lot more pressure, and a lot more responsibility, in my opinion. But I love it.
Yeah, no,
that's what I love about it.
I agree with what you said. Like, we've both kind of had the same mindset, as we operate well under pressure. So creating pressure makes us work harder and grows our businesses at the end of the day. Because, you know, when you don't have that guaranteed income from your serving job coming in, it's kind of like, damn, I have no choice but to make this business stuff work now. And we're making it happen because you have no choice.
Don't have a choice. Yeah.
So time back to what it actually takes. It's a lot of work, bro. Like, you got to be willing to put it in if you want a successful business. It's not easy, and I'm still learning things on my own. I'm still doing some hands-on work with personal training. You know, I have a very hectic schedule. There's been times where I've gone, I'm not even exaggerating, literal months where I couldn't remember the last time I've gotten 8 hours of sleep. That's what it takes, bro. It's rough. But if you really want it, that's a sacrifice you're willing to make. Everything good takes sacrifice. If you choose the 9 to 5 route, then you're sacrificing that unlimited ceiling of income.
Potential.
Yeah. And if you choose the entrepreneur route, you're choosing months, maybe years where you barely make any money. You're choosing sleepless nights. But the hope is that those things don't last forever. And, you know, eventually one day you make it and life won't be so bad.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is the whole point. And trusting yourself is probably one of the most difficult things to do nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Because most people will trust a different job to guarantee them an income rather than trusting themselves.
Absolutely.
Now, kind of tying back to what I said earlier, you have to trust yourself to be able to get something done. And that's probably difficult for some people. And that's probably why they choose not to operate in that field of the entrepreneurship. life, because like you said, it's difficult. And I feel you, bro. I've gone days where, bro, I won't sleep, like, and I'm not exaggerating, 36 hours of no sleep, of just straight work, because my weekend is so hectic, and we got it done. We got it done. And at the end of the day, when you get it done, it's like, let's go. Like, bro, we made it happen. Like,
yeah, and then when you finally get that sleep, it's a little more rewarding than
just
a regular night of sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. So my question is, since, I mean, you and I kind of understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur, talk to me a little bit about the balance of, taking time off or taking time for yourself. What does that look like now? Is that something that you prioritize? Is that something that you think is important, not important? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I went years without it because simply couldn't afford it. We're doing solid now, but for the first 3, maybe even 4 years of this journey, because I'm on year 5 going on year 6, and it's just now getting to where, I have a little extra cash to throw around. So it's been a long journey, half a decade that we've stuck through, had negative bank accounts, had months where we didn't know if we were going to make rent, just being straightforward. But again, that's what it takes. So now those vacations and stuff feel a lot more rewarding, even though it's not like I'm going on vacation every weekend, but it's nice to be able to take day trips here and there. Just got back from Puerto Rico a couple weeks ago. That was beautiful. So being able to do stuff like that now, it feels a lot more rewarding, knowing that there was sacrifice put in order to earn those things. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like you said, the ability to still have a lifestyle where we can get work done while we're in different, nicer settings is amazing as well.
Yeah, you can see the view, but you can absolutely check up on Joe to make sure he's good. Right?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. For me, I think it's also super important sometimes to reward yourself for the work that you have done. Like you said, it took you years to actually reward yourself.
Yeah.
Take a trip, go here, go there. But in my mindset, and it's probably going to be a little bit different than yours, I think it's important to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And this includes the mental, right? I mean, I've read a little bit more than 3 books, know, and I think,
Okay, it's more than 3, but I don't read very much. I buy books, but I don't read them.
I was going to ask you, what were those 3 books? But now that you cleared that up, you've read more than 3 books.
Well, I mean, I read the Bible every day. That's the most important book of all, so that's all that matters.
Absolutely. That's good, yeah.
Do you want me to answer the books that I've read?
If you have them, bro,
Off the top of my head.
Off the top of your head, talk to me. Give me your favorite 3.
Right. Outwitting the Devil, Way of the Superior Man.
Beautiful.
I guess, what's the David Goggins book called, the first one?
You Can't Hurt Me?
Yeah.
You Can't Hurt Me?
Not really great for business, but a good overall mental toughness book, yeah.
Toughness book, yeah.
Those are the only 3 I could think of that I've actually read, so that's my top 3.
I mean, I've read a few more than that.
Yeah.
I like, but my favorite books, I'm going to say, is Mind Hacking Happiness. Now, that one talks a lot about emotionality and understanding your emotions and not letting them win over your logic side. The second book, I would say The Way of the Superior Man, fantastic. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. So we'll leave that as an honorable mention. My third favorite book has to be, I don't want to butcher the name. 48 Laws of Power. Okay. I love that book. I think that although it doesn't really teach too much about business, it definitely teaches about psychology and human behavior, which is correlated to business and sales regardless.
Absolutely.
And I'll throw another one in there. And let me see. The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. Bro, that book is so good.
Hey, you could say fuck, bro. It's our podcast. Say
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Yeah, that's a great book. And the reason, again, it's not really tied to business, but it is tied to liberating yourself from the other thoughts of people. Like, you have to live your life like you don't care.
Yeah.
And you have to live your life because you don't care about anybody else's thoughts, right?
Yeah, you live by that for sure.
I absolutely do.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah,
it's a little bit, to get there.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier for me just because I don't care about judgment. Vinny knows this. Even in high school, I would do crazy things. I was the main lead for 2 dramas. I did a song for our school. I would perform. Like, bro, I did not care, right? And I still carry that till this day, which is funny that we mentioned that because I just started doing this challenge where I have to talk into the camera for 60 seconds every single day. And it's funny because I've been talking into this mic for 30 minutes, bro, and it feels like nothing. But when you pick up that phone and you try to talk for 60 seconds, it's like, oh my gosh, it just gets so much harder. But that in and of itself is also a way to develop that skill of not caring what other people think. Because reality is, bro, we're gonna die.
Yeah,
we're all
absolutely.
gonna die.
Yeah.
We don't know.
And none of this is gonna matter.
None of this is gonna matter. And if we're able to, like you said, impact someone, help someone, it's gonna make us feel better about ourselves that we're doing good. But it's also gonna help them feel better about themselves because they're gonna feel good. Yeah. And like you said, bro, we're not promised time, and I think that's where a lot of people have a misconception. People think that they have time, bro. It's not promised.
It's not.
And that was kind of like a clicking factor for me because I've been told before, like, yeah, bro, you're gonna die. Great, yeah, we all know that.
Yeah.
But time isn't promised. Time is a gift, right? And if you use it correctly as leverage, then you're able to help others. Great. Some people that don't do that, you know. One of the people that I talked to is a fantastic business owner, doing over $500,000 in his business, and he's actually the one that taught me how to do this. Going to, and I've talked to you about this, graveyards, right? Going to the funeral homes where people are actually gone.
Yeah.
And being able to walk through there, bro, and understanding that there are so many dreams that are in the ground. Wondering what potential actually lies there that they weren't able to fulfill in their lifetime. And I think that for me, bro, like that clicks. It's like, I don't want that. I don't want to go down as someone that no one knows. That's horrible, right?
Yeah, or just regret.
Or regret, exactly. Regret's
regret
a huge
of not
thing.
trying. Yeah,
absolutely. I've talked to a lot of, you know, older couples, older generations, where they're like, bro, I wish I would have done this with my life.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have done more, you know? And so that's exactly another reason why we're doing this, bro, because who cares? Let's get it done.
Yeah. This idea was like out of nowhere too. We're like, podcast, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a near-death experience?
And I've had a few.
Okay. Well,
I'll tell you. Do you want me to tell you about?
Think of the most life-changing one. You don't have to go through the experience in detail if you don't want to, but just talk about how it changed, like how you view life going forward. Like, did it make you appreciate it more? Did it make you want to work harder?
Absolutely, yeah. So let's go back to 2022 when I had, it was 2021, 22, I don't remember, but it's when I got my first car, my BMW. And you know that I had this car for 3 months, 2 months maximum.
You love that car.
I love that car. I really love that car. And that's, you know, maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, but I had a really terrible car crash with that car where I genuinely don't know how I made it out, bro. Right? So I'll kind of give a recap of what happened. I was coming from college. This is another reason why not to go to college.
Okay.
I was coming from college, right? And that day it was just super, super rainy. And in my mind, I was like, well, I don't want to go on the freeway because people drive stupid. It's going to be raining. I don't want to crash into anybody. I don't want anybody to crash into me. So I'm going to take the back route. I'm going to take the route that no one takes, right? Which ended up being one of the worst decisions that I made. Or one of the best. I don't know. On the way down back home, I was probably 20 minutes away from home. And I was going at a pretty substantial rate. I was going downhill. I decided to make a right instead of going straight. And so on my way to step on the brakes, the car kept going. I was stepping on the brakes and the car was not responding, bro. Mind you, this is a new car, so it was not something that was like normal. Yeah. But there was just so much water on that road that day that my car just, you know, went. And so I turned the wheel, and when I turned the wheel to make that turn, I crashed head on with someone. Head on, boom, right? And I remember the airbag exploding in my face, bro. And I remember that I kind of lost, I didn't lose consciousness, but I definitely was airy for a little bit because I was like hearing a ring in my ear. I was looking around wondering what just happened, and eventually like the adrenaline kicked in and I was like, holy crap, I just got into an accident, right? And my first instinct wasn't even about me, it was the other person, right? Because that car crash was so horrible that you couldn't even tell the type of car that they were driving, which to me was like, oh my gosh, what if someone just died? What if something happened to this person? And it was a near-death experience, in my opinion, for me, but not just for me. It was knowing that I could have actually ended someone's life, right? That in and of itself changed my perspective, bro. I think after that, I was a little bit more humble. It took me some time to even get behind a wheel, right, to drive, right? But that experience taught me that life isn't promised. It could change at any moment. At any moment, no one expected that. You know what? And it could have been worse, right? It could have been to the point where I didn't make it out of that crash, but I did. You know, going back to when I was younger, I had a near-death experience when I had my and I'll share a little bit personal. I had my appendix explode in my stomach, and that was a horrible experience. I was like 9 years old, and the doctor said that had I not gone into the doctors at the time that I did, I would have passed away. And so I've had multiple near-death experiences that in my mind, it's like second chances, third chances. Why not do what I'm supposed to do? Why not do what I want to do?
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's like, I don't know when that next chance might be, bro. And I don't want to take, and I'm not, I don't pray that on anybody's downfall, or I don't say, oh yeah, well, this is going to happen. But you have to be aware that anything can happen. And if you're aware of that, then I think that you're able to live life a little bit more humbly, but also be able to appreciate the time that you are given. And so that, those few experiences changed my life. There's absolutely more, but those are the main core ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Now, have you had, same question, have you had a near-death experience where you're like, oh my gosh, like, this changes everything for me?
Yeah, well, off the top of my head, the first one that comes to mind is a horrific car crash as well.
Gosh.
This one's completely out of my control, not my fault. I was going 50, but I was on the main road, and then an intoxicated driver just runs a stop sign, and I T-bone them. And I'm in a Scion XB. It's like one of those box cars.
Small car.
Yeah, not very durable at all. Like, I don't think we could pull up pictures on the podcast, but it was absolutely totaled. So, yeah, I just remember calling the ambulance. Like, at the time of the crash, I was fine. I walked out of the car, no problem. But I got in the ambulance, and when I got to the hospital and stood out of the stretcher, I just couldn't stand up. So it's like all the adrenaline had wore off. And then in my mind, like, I looked down at my pelvis, and I'm dripping blood down my legs. And I'm like, bro, am I, like, paralyzed? Like, I was being dramatic, but, like, I genuinely didn't know what was going to happen at that moment. I recovered fast. I was a little banged up, but within, like, 2 weeks, I was back to normal. But, yeah, like, that moment, split-second moment is very scary. A split-second moment could change your life. At any moment, this life could be taken from you due to circumstances that are out of your control. So it teaches me to appreciate every moment. For me, I don't think it necessarily taught me to work harder. I think it actually taught me to slow down a little bit and appreciate the little things more. Because, like I said, I hit a point in my 5 to 6 year entrepreneurial journey where I did realize that I was going too hard, like getting 3-4 hours of sleep every night. So that was kind of something that taught me to just, keep working hard for my goals, but slow down a little bit and actually enjoy life. Because, we want to pursue our dreams, but when we're in our deathbed, we don't want to look back at life and think all we did was work either. You want to appreciate the time with the people you love. I've had quite a few deaths in my family, so all of those things make me realize to spend more time with the people that you love, cherish every moment you have with the people that you love. Work hard, but don't work so hard that you don't have time for the things that matter to you,
Absolutely. Priorities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And
bro.
for me, the sacrifice is still sleep. Like, I try to make time for all those little things too. I'm still not getting sleep, but we'll work on it.
Yeah, energy drinks to the max.
Absolutely.
One
Caffeine
gram
maxing.
of caffeine a max.
Yeah.
Caffeine maxing. Fantastic, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, so I don't know what we're looking at, like, time-wise. We didn't really come into this video with the script. We were just going to introduce ourselves, see where it goes. But our podcasts are going to be quite structured going forward. We're going to come into each video with the main topic. We're not going to follow a script or anything, but we're going to try to stick to the topic for different episodes. So if there's anything you guys would like to see our perspective on, feel free to comment down below, shoot us a message. Yeah, is there anything you'd like to add here?
No, absolutely. I think
Better Mic is coming as well. We had some technical difficulties today, so I've
out
got
of the blue. This was out of the blue.
Yeah,
so
this guy has a Lil Wayne mic, and I have the Walmart mic, but it's all
Lil
good.
Wayne mic. That's crazy, bro. What? But just to carry off of what Vinny said, we're gonna have everything structured. It's just gonna be fantastic, full of value. If, like you said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, send us a message. We're more than happy to share our perspective, our experiences, what we've learned. And like we said, we're still on the journey of being where we want to be. So this is like, imagine we're right here in the middle. This is the end goal. We're here trying to teach the people that are here to get here because we're still on that same journey too. So we'll see you guys next time. I'm super stoked. I'm very happy that we finally started our podcast, bro.
Yeah.
This is dope, dude. This is going to be fantastic.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you all for tuning in.